If you've seen The Big Short, you definitely know the name Michael Burry. He's the guy, right, the legendary investor who's basically become famous for his cryptic and often terrifying warnings about market crashes. For months, he's been hunkered down, positioned for a massive storm, betting against the market's biggest names. But something just changed. And when I say changed, I mean it changed in a huge way.
This quote right here, this is the key to his entire brain. See, he's not just some perma-bear who's always negative. He's a deep value hunter. He's looking for treasure in the trash, for incredible opportunities where everyone else just sees a complete disaster. And that philosophy has never, ever been more on display than it is right now.
And that really is the billion-dollar question we're digging into here. Because in the second quarter of 2025, Michael Burry didn't just tweak his portfolio. No, he performed one of the most aggressive, shocking pivots I think we've ever seen, flipping his entire book from maximum defense to an incredibly high-stakes offense.
I mean, just look at the numbers. They tell the entire story. On the left, you've got Q1. He owned basically one stock, but he had 6 different bearish bets, or puts, including that monster $98 million bet against the AI darling Nvidia. Now, look at Q2. It's a complete mirror image. 0 bearish bets. Gone, replaced by 9 bullish bets using calls, and the whole portfolio is now headlined by a $109 million bet on the recovery of United Health. It's a total reversal.
To put it as simply as possible, he went from betting on a widespread market crash to betting on a very targeted recovery. He went from trying to just save his money to trying to make huge, leveraged gains. This was not a minor adjustment. This was a complete teardown and rebuild of his entire thesis on the market.
So, to really appreciate just how aggressive this new attack is, you first have to understand the fortress he was hiding in just a few months ago.
In that first quarter, Burry had sold practically everything. He was holding on to just a single stock, Estée Lauder. The real action was in his massive, surgical bets against the market's hottest trades. He was shorting the AI bubble through Nvidia, and he was betting against the whole China reopening story by shorting giants like Alibaba and JD.com. He was aiming right at the heart of the market's biggest stories.
And here's the kicker, the part that makes this whole thing so mind-bending. He was right. His bearish call was spot on. It protected him perfectly from that huge market sell-off we saw in April, the one triggered by all the tariff talk. So the fact that he would immediately pivot away from a winning strategy, well, that's what makes this so important to unpack.
But really, to get these trades, you have to get the man. You have to understand the very unique way his mind works. See, Burry's path to Wall Street wasn't exactly typical. The guy was a neurology resident at Stanford. He was a doctor. And that medical background, it's absolutely critical. It trained him to be a diagnostician, to be systematic, to look at the evidence and to make a cold, clinical, dispassionate diagnosis. He just applies that same thinking to company balance sheets instead of human brains.
And you can see his incredible journey right here. It starts back in 1996, when he's just a neurology resident, spending his nights sharing stock picks on internet message boards. Then, in 2000, he just up and quits medicine to start his own hedge fund. And of course, by 2005, he's digging deep into the subprime mortgage market, which led to The Big Short, the trade that made him immortal.
At the core of everything he does is this one simple concept, which he borrowed from the godfather of value investing, Benjamin Graham. It's called margin of safety. And all it really means is buying a dollar for 50 cents. It gives you a cushion in case you're wrong, and it gives you massive upside if you're right. Every single trade he makes starts with this idea.
Which, of course, brings us right back to today's portfolio, because he has clearly found some things out there that he thinks are selling for 50 cents on the dollar. He's out there sifting through the market's rubble, putting that roadkill philosophy into action.
And his biggest bet by a country mile is on the healthcare behemoth United Healthcare Group, a company that has been, and I mean this literally, punished by the market this year.
So first, let's look at why it's roadkill. The stock absolutely collapsed after the company admitted it underestimated its medical costs by a staggering $6.5 billion. They slashed their profit forecasts, their CEO suddenly left, and now they're facing a DOJ investigation. It's pretty much a perfect storm of terrible news.
But this is a perfect example of how Burry sees things differently. He's looking past the chaos and he sees a market leader that has the power to fix its own problems, probably by just raising premiums next year. He sees a company that's still a cash flow machine, but it's trading at a 10-year low valuation. And he's not the only one who sees it. Warren Buffett bought in this quarter too.
And just look at the conviction here. This is not a small bet. He's using call options to make a leveraged wager with a notional value of more than $109 million. He's betting that this healthcare giant is about to get up off the operating table and walk again.
His next big bet follows the exact same pattern. It's on the premium apparel brand Lululemon, another former market darling that has just been taken to the cleaners.
And yep, here we go again. The stock is one of the worst performers in the entire S&P 500 this year, down almost 50%. The story you hear is all about slowing growth, inventory piling up, and pressure from tariffs and competition. The market has pretty much left this company for dead. But Burry is looking right past that short-term noise. He sees that international growth is still booming. He sees a flawless balance sheet with over $1 billion in cash and absolutely no debt. And he sees a company so confident in its own future that it's buying back its own stock by the truckload. And he gets to buy all of that at the cheapest it's been in 10 years.
And just like he did with United Health, he is going big. He's placing another huge leveraged bet with call options, a $95 million wager that the market has this story completely and totally wrong.
Okay, so we've looked at the massive pivot, we've profiled the man himself, and we've analyzed his specific bets. What does it all mean? What is Michael Burry's new message to the world?
Well, it all points to one powerful conclusion. Michael Burry is no longer a macro bear. He's not forecasting a broad market apocalypse anymore. He has become a micro bull. His actions are screaming that he believes a targeted correction has already happened and that it's created incredible bargains in a few specific, high-quality companies that just got caught in the crossfire.
But, and this is a huge but, we have to be clear that this new strategy is incredibly risky. He is super concentrated in just two beaten-down sectors. He's using a ton of leverage, where timing is everything, and he could lose it all. His success no longer depends on being right about the whole market, but on being exactly, precisely right about a few specific companies making a comeback. And that leaves us with this final, tantalizing thought. The Cassandra of our time, the man who became famous for warning of disaster, has gone silent. He's stopped predicting the crisis and has started investing in what he seems to believe is its aftermath. So the question we're all left with is this. Is this massive pivot his next big short, just in reverse?
All right, the learning doesn't have to stop here. If you want to explore even more, I've built the perfect place for you at sophie-ai-finance.com to unlock a new way of learning. Think of it as your personal learning toolkit. If you just want the big picture, you can watch the video or listen to the podcast. It's perfect for getting the main concepts down while you're on the go. But if sometimes you need to hit the pause button and really let an idea sink in, you can visit the blog article. It has all the details, charts, and text from our discussion so you can review everything at your own pace. And for those of you who want to see all the math, data, and the complete nitty-gritty behind the analysis, well, I've got a full research paper waiting for you, so you can really dig into the details and see how everything works under the hood. It's all there, all for you. And hey, if you have any ideas for new topics about finance and AI you'd like me to cover, please leave me a message. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.